Leopardi, Shakespeare, two troubadours, Donne, Sidney, then Spencer, Milton, Chaucer, and Yeats, and Monk, Horan, Roche, Blake, Coleridge, Dante, Baudelaire, and Stork and other authors, Stork ed altri autori, poetry after the classics. And thus spake on that ancient man, the bright-eyed Marinere. Hi everyone, and welcome to Poetry After the Classics. What? You expected a multilingual intro? A translation? Do you have any idea how long the poem we are dealing with today is? I am not going to translate it. So the start of today's episode is not a translation, but rather a tune which I made for the poem. Let's try to briefly go over the history of the tune. So, the first step happens on the 12th of October 2011, where, according to my diary, surgens in mente abui ideam generalem musicae pro Rime of the Ancient Marinere. As I got up, I had in mind a general idea for a tune to this poem. And the tune was presumably set to thought up for the first stanza of the poem, and then it was meant to be repeated. So the first stanza would have gone, "It is an ancient mariner, he stoppeth one of three. By thy long grey beard and glittering eye, now wherefore stopp'st thou me?" There are a couple more steps from way back when, at a time when I did not write this down, so I do not have dates for this. I only wrote this down in 2021, so way later. But anyways, the first step was a variation for the tune of line 2. So, putting it onto line 2 of stanza 2, instead of the normal, if you will, "And I am next of kin," I decided to add an extra note in the form of, "And I am next of kin." And then the other step is noticing that some stanzas had 5 lines instead of 4. And the one I saw evidently had the structure of 2 plus 3, so I came up with a way to musicate this extra line. And so the full stanza would have gone, "With throats unslaked, with black lips baked, we could not laugh nor wail. Through utter drought all dumb we stood. I bit my arm, I sucked the blood, and cried, 'A sail, a sail!'" At which point we skip forward to December the 3rd, 2021, when I finally decided to write this thing down in my corpus of musical works. And at that point, I noticed that some stanzas were actually in the form of 3 plus 2 rather than 2 plus 3. And for those, I just decided to repeat the tune of line 1 for line 2. That same day, I also noticed that some stanzas actually had a structure of 2 plus 4. So what did I do then? Because, I didn't have something to deal with that. And what I did was the following. "The western wave was all aflame, the day was well nigh done. Almost upon the western wave rested the broad bright sun, when that strange shape drove suddenly betwixt us and the sun." So I just repeated the tune of the standard 2 lines with 1 note changed at the end. And then I noticed that there were some stanzas of the form 4 plus 2. And what I thought of was to alter the tune for line 2. And then as I wrote that down, I thought of integrating that variation of line 2 from late 2011, from what was probably late 2011, because I must have done those 2 variations while we were dealing with the rhyme at school. And the result of that, with an extra step of altering the values of some notes, was with sloping moss and dipping prow, as who pursued with yell and blow, still treads the shadow of his foe, and forward bends his head. The ship drove fast, loud roared the blast, and westward we fled. But that is not all, because I came back to this on the 1st of February 2024, in preparation for this video, and then I noticed a stanza with 9 lines, which were like 3 plus 3 and then another 3. So what did I do? But that, of course, was not all, because I had to establish clearly what each stanza's tune would be. And I was not going to make the score for all of this. So what I did was, February the 10th and 11th, I prepared a post with this history in it. And then for each variation of these tunes, I gave a label with a number and a letter, and possibly a prime, in case the line was supposed to start with the stress on the first syllable, because that also happens. There's also lines which start with like extra syllables that don't really scan, but I didn't give notation for that. So, and then I went through the text of the poem, and I gave a tag to each and every line. So now I'm reading the lyrics with that, and I am hopefully ready to sing it all with this guitar. So sit back and enjoy the Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Enjoy listening. Oh, sleep, it is a gentle thing, but love from pole to pole. To Mary, Queen, the praise be given. She sent the gentle sleep from heaven that slid into my soul. The silly buckets on the deck that had so long remained, I dreamt that they were filled with dew, and when I awoke it rained. My lips were wet, my throat was cold, my garments all were dank. Sure, I had drunken in my sleep, and still my body drank. I moved and could not feel my limbs, I was so tired almost. I thought that I had died in sleep and was a blessed ghost. And soon I heard a roaring wind, it did not come anear, but with its sound it shook the sails that were so thin and sere. The upper air burst into life, and 100 fireflies sheen. To and fro they were hurried about, and to and fro, and in and out the wands tossed us between. The coming wind did roar more loud, the sails did sigh and sedge. The rain poured down from one black cloud, the moon was at its edge. The thick black cloud was cleft, and still the moon was at its side. Like waters shot from some high crag, the lightning fell with ne'er a jag, a river steep and wide. The loud wind never reached the ship, yet now the ship moved on. Beneath the lightning and the moon, the dead men great were grown. They groaned, they stirred, they all uprose, nor spake nor moved their eyes. It had been strange, even in a dream, to have seen those dead men rise. The helmsman steered, the ship moved on, with never a breeze of blue. The mariners all gan work the ropes where they were wont to do. They raised their limbs like lifeless tools, we were a ghastly crew. body and I pulled at one rope, but he said not to me. I fear the ancient mariner become the wedding guest. Was not those souls that fled in pain, which to their courses came again, but a troop of spirits blessed. For when it dawned they dropped their arms and clustered round the mast. Sweet sounds rose slowly through their mouths and from their bodies passed. Around, around flew each sweet sound and darted to the sun. Slowly the sounds came back again, now mixed, now one by one. Sometimes a dropping from the sky, I heard the skyline sing. Sometimes all little birds that air, how they seem to fill the sea and air with their sweet jargoning. And now it was like all instruments, now like a lonely flute. And now it is an angel song that makes the heavens be mute. It ceased, yet still the sails laid on, a pleasant noise till noon. A noise like off a hidden brook in the leafy month of June, that to the sleeping woods all night singeth the quiet tune. Till noon we quietly sailed on, yet never a breeze did breathe. Slowly and smoothly went the ship, moved onward from beneath. Under the keel 9 fathom deep, from the land of mist and snow, the spirit slid, and it was he that made the ship to go. The sails at noon left off their tune, and the ship stood still also. The sun right up above the mast had fixed her to the ocean, but in a minute she gazed her with a short uneasy motion, backwards and forwards half her length with a short uneasy motion. Then like a pawing horse let go, she made a sudden bound. It flung the blood into my head, and I fell down in a swoon.